Our Kayla Moody has been down in front there on Main Street. What's the latest, Kayla?
Well, Doug, they just had us move back 50 feet in fear that the building might collapse. You can see behind me, there's one window that they are really focusing their efforts on. Initially, when we got here, they were using a chainsaw to try to access that window. They've now been rushing gallons and gallons and gallons of water through that window ever since. It does appear the situation is somewhat improving, but they are still in defensive mode. Again, everyone was out of this building. And no one was inside when the fire started, and everyone has been evacuated in the connecting buildings related to Whiskey Row. Now, everyone has been asked to step back. They are afraid that this structure is not structurally sound. They are afraid that it could collapse, and just as a precaution, they're having everyone except for firefighters step back. But again, fire crews have not yet been inside this building. It's still too strong of a fire, too heavy smoke for them to go inside. We do know this was a vacant building, that this is one of the ones that was being renovated. But it does appear that this building, it looks like it's the second or third one in, is where they're really focusing their efforts. It appears on the second level is where most of the water is currently going in. Since I talked to you guys last, they've started putting more water into the top level of this building. But so far, we have not received any official information from the fire department. We have just been told that this is still a defensive operation. Again, that means that the firefighters cannot go inside. It's still too unsafe for them to do so. We have been told that we will be briefed at some time. However, we've not given any indication as to when that might be. Certainly, as soon as we get any more information, we'll come back out to you guys live.
Kayla, have you been able to pinpoint on whether they were working on those buildings today? I know we've asked you that before, and maybe that'll come out in the briefing later.
Yeah, so far have not heard any indication that there was construction going on today. However, we do know that there was lots of construction happening right in this area recently. So certainly a good question to ask, and I will be asking around to some people. So far, the people I've asked, no one really knew if any construction was happening. We do know that nothing was happening inside that building just because it was vacant when this fire broke out. However, we don't know if any construction was happening outside in that building's immediate exterior.
And Kayla, while we have you here, we can see how thick the smoke is out there. Can you talk to us what it feels like being so close there? Is it hard to breathe out there? I know people have been told to leave the nearby buildings, but what does it feel like down there?
You know, it's a very tense situation. I think it really kind of scared everyone who was just kind of bystanding, you know, with their cameras out, taking video, taking pictures. When the fire department came through and said, back up, you know, we're afraid this might collapse. The mood really turned out here. People were a little bit scared when that happened because before, you know, it was just one of those things that a lot of people, they never see except for on TV, and it was happening right in front of them, and they just wanted to watch and sightsee it almost. But then once they heard that their life could be in danger from watching this, certainly changed the tone a little bit. But as you can see, there's still quite a few people out here watching this scene. Again, smoke still billowing from the building. They're not able to get inside yet. That smoke very strong. I'm sure you could probably smell it all over downtown. I could tell even as soon as we walked out of our station just over there on West Chestnut Street that we could smell the smoke over there. So certainly this is something that a lot of people are getting experience of, whether they're right outside here or not. This smoke is going to be traveling quite a ways away from this scene. But certainly a hectic scene. It looks like they're actually pushing the perimeter back a little bit further right now. There were some people up in front of us, and they're pushing us further and further back. It looks like we might actually have to move here in a second. We're waiting to find out right now.
Move back to Market Street.
Yep, and we are having to move back to Market Street. So they're wanting us to move back even further. So we're going to move back. Whenever we're able to set back up, we'll come back to you guys live, okay?
Okay, you're going to move the block away on Market Street. WHAS 11's Kayla Moody is live over on 1st in Main, where the firefighting effort continues, and she has more on what the mayor and the fire department said a few moments ago. Kayla?
Well, the fire department believes this fire may have started in the basement of this structure. When they first arrived on scene, they say fire was rushing through the basement and the first level. Now, that operation quickly turned into a defensive operation, but tonight they can report that the fire is finally mostly out. Flames shoot through the rooftop of Whiskey Row. Firefighters work for 3 hours before the fire is under control.
The size of the fire has gone down. We've been able to make progress. However, along the way, we've experienced a couple of collapses. Some floors collapsed, and some of the walls on the outer edge and also on the rear have collapsed.
Flooring and walls collapsed, but miraculously, the building's facade stood tall through the fire.
There's a lot of steel that goes deep, that goes back, a series of braces, steel braces that go back. And so I will say this, the people that did that bracing of those facades did an excellent job.
The steel braces are a recent addition, the work of developers renovating the property. That work will now be harder, but because of the effort they've already put in and the firefighters' careful attention to the historic structure, the building is not a total loss.
Well, Whiskey Row, in my mind, is one of the great blocks in all of America. It has been and it will be. Okay, so what this is going to do is this is going to make the story of Whiskey Row even more fabulous once we get past this. I know it's hard to see that right now.
The Whiskey Row fire was a dangerous situation for the 75-plus firefighters working to put it out and the dozens of people in surrounding businesses. But amazingly, no one was hurt.
We're really excited about the fact that, number one, no one was injured in this incident, and that we were able to save the property and keep the adjacent properties safe.
Most important thing here is nobody's lost their life. Tremendously lucky on that. This could have been far worse from that, so we're thankful for that.
And fire crews continue to work to put out hot spots. That's what they're doing right now, and what you're seeing with that water rushing in through those windows. We're told that crews will be on fire watch throughout the night. They will remain on scene at least until tomorrow morning. We're told that we will have a briefing at 9 a.m. At that point, fire crews are going to kind of assess the situation again and see where they are. And from then, they'll decide their next move. Back to you, Doug.